holds for victims of attack by gunmen in Nasarawa community. Explosion rocks Jalingo, Taraba State capital. Nigerian chef surpasses Indian counterpart, breaks Guinness World Cooking Record. And on the international scene, runoff likely with Erdogan leading as count continues after polls closed in Turkey elections. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Sagir Ibrahim. Hello and welcome once again. A mass burial was held for 38 people, including women and children, killed by gunmen in Taka Lafia rural community of Karu Local Government Council in Nasarawa State. Abubakar Abdullahi reports that the Nasarawa State Deputy Governor Emmanuel Akabi led a delegation to the burial. The report.
Taka Lafia in Karu Local Government Council of Nasarawa State is a rural community with farming as the major occupation of the inhabitants. Attacked by gunmen left the community deserted as lives and property worth millions of naira were destroyed. Nasarawa State Deputy Governor Emmanuel Akabe, who expressed shock over the killing of the people, says government will investigate the causes of the attack and punish the perpetrators.
This thing that has happened will not go unpunished. As a government, we are going to investigate the root cause of this problem, and the perpetrators must be identified and appropriate measures will be taken so that we can prevent such a thing from happening again. If we don't do it, if we don't go after the perpetrators, it will happen again. Yes. But we don't want it to happen again.
Amen.
He notes that the state government will provide relief materials to the community and encourages them to give credible information to the relevant authorities to check insecurity.
I've already called the general manager, the director general of NASEMA, Nasarawa State Emergency Management Agency, to liaise with the special advisor and the local government to identify families that are involved so that we can start sending relief materials immediately. So at least let's get some relief coming to the people while we'll look at the remote and causes of this thing.
Leading the burial, Pastor Elijah Wansa calls on relevant authorities to assist the community.
Quite an unfortunate situation there. Moving forward, an explosive device suspected to be a bomb has exploded in Jalingo, the Taraba State capital in northeast Nigeria. The incident, which occurred at the Dorua drinking joint opposite a bank, affected some buildings within the vicinity. Eyewitnesses at the scene of the incident said a lady was badly hit by the explosion and rushed to an undisclosed hospital for medical attention, while several others sustained various degrees of injuries. Though no life was lost, the police had cordoned off the area to avert another blast. No statement has been released by the police authorities or state government as regards the incident. Also, many were feared injured in a crash that occurred on Monday morning on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The crash, which took place opposite the Punch Place, kilometer 14 of the expressway, involved a truck and several other vehicles on the road. It was gathered that the truck, usually used to convey cows, rammed into a vehicle from behind, as the vehicle also rammed into other vehicles at its front, leading to a chain of crashes. An official of the Federal Road Safety Corps, who spoke on the condition of anonymity for not being authorized to speak, said that at least 4 injured persons had been taken to a nearby hospital. 2 children, 1 male and 1 female adult, were involved. He told our correspondent. He said efforts were ongoing to ascertain further casualties and to remove the truck from the road. The spokesperson for the Ogun sector of the FRSC, Florence Okwe, could not be immediately reached. A midnight fire, which blazed through the wee hours of Sunday night, has destroyed a section of the popular Agbeni market in Ibadan, leaving traders there distraught. Witnesses say that the fire incident started at around 4:30 a.m. and it took the intervention of firefighters from the State Secretariat to contain the flames. The Agbeni Fabric Market is located in the Ibadan Northwest Local Council area of Oyo State. It's said to be one of the largest textile markets in the southwest region. Traders affected by the fire incident had been counting their losses and are appealing to the state government for support.
When it happens that maybe 3:45, she secures a bank caller that fire is burned at her shop. That's why I run by 4 o'clock. But 2 motor come here to help us to do it that, but she's not done. The chemical for agric and soda, that's what she wants to lose, like billions of naira.
I try to call some people when they're around here, how can they assist us? But suddenly when I got here, I was so shocked because I lost many property money goods. In fact, even though those people that there are some people that are keeping their markets with those ladies that are selling markets, they are keeping their market for my shop. When they finish selling at the end of the day, they are keeping it in my shop. But suddenly everything we send their children in the school. But now that this thing happened now, I don't even know the condition that some of them will be now. So I want government to assist us to help us because we lost so many things.
Despite measures to fight Nigeria's #1 public enemy, corruption, by successive government, the menace appears to have defied solutions. In this report, Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman speaks with a cross-section of Nigerians on a new approach being proposed by the incoming President Bola Tinubu to make corruption unattractive. Here's his report.
Corruption, adjudged to be Nigeria's #1 public enemy, has cost the nation $582 billion between independence in 1960 and 2021, according to Yaga Africa. A whopping sum of 1.3 trillion naira of public funds was said to have been laundered between 2011 and 2015 alone. While the Olusegun Obasanjo-led government leveraged on the institutional approach with the creation of ICPC and EFCC to fight the menace, the Buhari administration combined both institutional and legal strategies to deal with the challenge without meaningful results. The president-elect Bola Tinubu appears to have an antidote to stamp out corruption, as he has promised to make it less attractive.
We must fight corruption, and we definitely must look at the other side of the coin.
Treasury Single Account TSA, Bank Verification Number VBN, and whistleblower policies of the outgoing government were uploaded. Nigeria is still ranked 150 out of 180 in the last Global Corruption Perception Index, CPI. How then can de-incentivization change the trajectory?
I think it's a brilliant idea. The man has explained what he's going to do to make corruption unattractive. He said he's going to create a credit system for Nigerians, and this is international best standard practice. This is what happens abroad. So if you want to buy a house in Abuja, for instance, for 60 million, and you have 6 million, you can pay 10% deposit for 6 million and then access a mortgage from government, the owner-occupier system. So this in itself reduces your propensity for corruption, because in Nigeria as it stands today, if you're going to buy something for 10 million, you have to put that 10 million naira down in cash.
It is possible because it is a good intention, which will go a long way to turn the fortune of the youth around.
It is projected that Nigeria will lose 37% of its GDP to corruption by 2030, which is estimated to be at 75% cost to the nation's annual budget. It's therefore not surprising for experts to say that fighting corruption to a standstill should be a topmost priority. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Also, Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi made a historic feat on Monday when she broke the Guinness World Record for longest cooking time by an individual. As of 11:22 a.m. on Monday, Bassi has cooked for 91 hours and 21 minutes to surpass the previous record set by Indian chef Lata Tondon in 2019. The previous title holder cooked for 87 hours, 45 minutes and 0 seconds. Bassey started her 4-day cooking marathon challenge on May 11th at the Amore Gardens. The 27-year-old will keep cooking to extend the record. On why she embarked on the challenge, Bassey said it is one of her biggest aspirations, adding that it is also an opportunity to tell some positive stories from Africa through the meals that we eat. Her quest to make history has generated so much buzz among Nigerians who are still rallying support for her both on social media and at the venue of the Cookathon, Amore Gardens in Lekki, Lagos State. Many dignitaries, including the President-elect Bola Tinubu, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Governor of Anambra State Peter Obi, Governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos and Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State have shown support for Bassey's quest and lauded her resilience and grit. On Sunday, Sanwo-Olu visited the chef at the Amore Gardens in the Lekki area of the state and cheered her up.
Let's give it up a big shout for her. She's on 69 hours now. And so she needs all the energy she can get. And you can see the Nigerian spirit popping out in her. You can see the spirit of Lagos coming out of her. And more importantly, the Akwa Ibom spirit in her. The Akwa Ibom in the house. Meserende, Abario, Isoisoy. Thank you all very much for coming out to support one of our own. Linda, you are a great inspiration, you are a great motivator, and this is the Lagos Nigerian spirit that we're talking about. We will break that record by the grace of God. God give you the ability to finish it and finish well. Remember that here in Lagos, we also broke the record of the largest number of cupcakes in the world. So you will also be doing another first for our country, for our state, and for your family. I'm so proud of you. Right, and I can see that you are popped up to ensure that you get to the finish line. You will get there very, very well.
Congratulations to Hilda for doing Nigeria proud. Moving on, the federal government says 160 women claiming to be Nigerians in Sudan have no passports to fly back to the country. The Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Mustafa Ahmed, stated this in Abuja while briefing the press on the progress made so far in the evacuation of Nigerians from war-torn Sudan. According to him, although the women claimed to be Nigerians, they do not possess Nigerian passports to verify their claims. He said the agency is being careful not to evacuate persons who are not Nigerians. It will be recalled that before the commencement of the evacuation exercise, the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, had said there were about 3 million Nigerians in Sudan and a total of 5,000 students. However, the NEMA boss said apart from the 2,518 Nigerians that have so far been evacuated and 15 flights operated so far, the citizenships of many of those claiming to be Nigerians cannot be verified. He said some of them claimed their great-grandparents up to the 5th generation were Nigerians while they were born in Sudan, but that remains unverified. Meanwhile, NEMA said the door of the opportunities is opened to any Nigerian with verified documents who is interested in returning to the country. Among the 2,518 Nigerian returnees is a pregnant woman who was said to have given birth while waiting to be evacuated. Her child was the only infant among the evacuees. The 8-day infant is currently being treated for jaundice at the University of Abuja Teaching Hospital, Gwagwalada. No Nigerian life was lost to the war in Sudan, according to NEMA. However, a total of 23 sick evacuees were received, out of which 10 were treated on arrival by medics, while 13 were referred to the 108 Nigerian Air Force Hospital, Abuja. Also, as part of efforts in the fight against malaria in Nigeria, Bauchi State partners other stakeholders and the media to distribute 4.4 million insecticide mosquito-treated nets to households across all the 20 local government areas of the state. This was disclosed during a media parley with state agency responsible for combating malaria and other related diseases in the state. Trust TV Adamuima and please the report.
Malaria is a life-threatening disease transmitted to people through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquitoes. Nigeria accounts for over 66 million global malaria cases annually. Current prevalence in Bauchi State is 32%, and it remained the commonest cause of absenteeism from schools, offices, as well as markets, resulting in lower productivity, which exert a huge social and economic burden on Nigerian communities. Billions of naira lost to malaria annually in form of treatment cost and prevention. Some of the stakeholders at the gathering speaks on the role of the media and importance of engagement during the distribution of insecticide-treated nets.
Media is very crucial to this campaign. We all know it, that it is only through the media that you can reach a lot of people, thousands, millions of people in a very few time.
People of the community, they listen to this personnel, okay? That's one. The second is that it's a sense of ownership, because when this happens, the state knows that this is very key. They are accepting it and they are making sure that every member of the households in Bauchi State can have access to these nets.
In this year's exercise, Bakatma announced the adoption of technology as part of the new strategies to ensure the seamless distribution of the mosquito-treated nets to households by the end of June this year. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Still to come. We take a look at why tomatoes are expensive in Jos. This and more after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining, you're watching News Update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the headlines again. Mass burial holds for victims of attack by gunmen in Nasarawa community. Explosion rocks Jalingo in Taraba State. Moving on, illegal consumption of drugs among youth and women has become a source of concern for Nigeria's positive development. Against this backdrop, community leaders and governments at all levels have been charged to wake up and redouble efforts to salvage the future of Nigeria. Salis Lawan reports.
Data obtained from the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime indicates that Nigeria is ranked highest in drug use prevalence rate in the world at 14.3% as against 5.3% for the entire global community. Reflecting on the roles played by youth in just to conclude the 2023 elections, stakeholders said there are some improvement from that aspect. They, however, stressed that there is need for constant awareness and sensitization on the dangers of drug abuse.
The word drug refers to any chemical substance, either natural or synthetic, apart from food and water, which when taken into the body affects one's mood, state of mind, and or behavior. You agree with me that drug can be said to be any chemical substance apart from food and water, which when taken to the body changes the mood or behavior of that user.
As students, we have a responsibility to take care of ourselves. We can do this by being aware of the risks associated with drugs abuse, seeking help when needed, and supporting our friends who may be struggling with addiction or devastating effect of drug abuse, such as mental health issues. To combat menace of drug abuse is the fundamental reason why we are gathered here today.
Some youth interviewed by Trust TV also bear their minds on the issue.
So they give us advice about it, to take care ourselves. That is a main point, that we take it and use, protect ourselves, and advise our students to take care about it.
It educates youth or students on how to stay away from drugs because it damages their body systems, and there is that.
Drug abuse is one of the biggest phenomenon that society can do away with for a meaningful, purposeful, and prosperous development. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Also, tomato dealers and traders in Jos Market of Jos North local government area of Plateau State have explained why the price of tomato has skyrocketed in the state. Traders say this is the first time in the last 10 years that the price of the product is rising astronomically because of scarcity of Naira notes experienced some months back, which crippled many businesses in the country. Ado Musa has more.
The market, when visited on Sunday afternoon, looks skeletal, with traders and dealers waiting for supply of their products. Between January and February this year, a basket of tomato was sold as low as 700 naira due to lack of cash in the hands of people following the introduction of new naira notes by the Central Bank of Nigeria. According to the traders in the Lalon tomato market, located at the Paringada market, say the major factor responsible for the scarcity and hike in the price of the product is because of the inability of the farmers to get cash for the cultivation of tomato during the farming season, saying getting cash to buy fertilizer and farm inputs had made other farmers to abandon their farms. Nasiru Sani, chairman of the tomato market, speaks on the development.
But the reason why he up to this channel is that there's this problem, cashless problem, due to the lack of money at hand. It what caused the price of the tomatoes to go that level.
The chairman further says the product is now imported from neighboring countries.
We don't have, most of our farmers nowadays, they don't harvest tomatoes because they have not planted tomato when it is time to harvest. And tomatoes is a seasonal. Now people are planting the rainy season tomatoes, no dry season. And during dry season, we don't have access to that.
Other traders say the scarcity has affected their income.
Because of high cost in production, fertilizer, and the other costs to the farmers, tomatoes is too cost. Because of that, we are not earning good income as before. Government should see what to do to reduce the cost of production and farming, so that we can earn easy living.
Traders in the market say the price will continue to increase until August this year, when the price is expected to go down after harvest. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And on the international scene, a runoff vote is looking likely as the count continues after polls closed in Turkey's election. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan remains in the lead despite his share of the vote falling below 50% after early results published. by the state-run Anadolu agency. The third candidate, Sinan Ogan of the right-wing Atta Alliance, performed more strongly than expected. If no candidate secures more than half the vote in the first round of voting, a May 28 runoff will be held. Speaking in the early hours of Monday, Erdogan said he believed he had enough votes to win the first round outright, but that he would accept a runoff, and accused unnamed others of trying to deceive the nation by claiming they were in the lead. Kılıçdaroğlu said he would accept a runoff and would win it, saying despite all of his lies and attacks, Erdogan did not receive the desired outcome. No one should be enthusiastic about this being a done deal. The election is not won on the balcony, he said, in an apparent reference to Erdogan's speech venue. The YSK said more than 91% of the vote has been counted, but that there have been long delays in tallying up votes from overseas. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update at this hour. Do well to follow us across all of our media platforms. I'm Sakir Ibrahim. Thanks for watching.